Hello and welcome to the daily newscast within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website firsta.com. I am Olga Tkachenko and thank you for joining us. Today in ATO zone, one soldier died because of the mine explosion, according to ATO spokesman Andriy Lysenko. In general, the situation in the east is stable. According to another words of spokesman Anatoly Stelmach, the illegal armed groups follow the ceasefire regime. But not far from Donetsk, from time to time they open provocative fire.
At 8 p.m. and 10 p.m., the terrorists shelled our key point located to the south from Avdiivka with small arms and grenade launchers. And at 8:30 p.m., the mortar was used on our positions in Opytne by the terrorists in Spartak. In general, during the 3rd of September, the illegal armed groups violated the ceasefire 5 times. Today, after the midnight, terrorists opened small arms fire on ATO forces, key point in Opytne.
Night explosion in Zaporizhia. The grenade bursted under the office of Yevgeny Anisimov, a businessman who is thought to be connected with criminality. The building is in the center nearby Shevchenko Boulevard and the city council. There is no information about casualties and victims. Investigators are working there but do not comment to the incident. 2 years ago, Anisimov was detained near the Boryspil airport. Law enforcement agency accuses him in blackmailing. He had been in custody for 3 months until Pechersky Court of Kiev changed its decision from precaution to house arrest. After this, businessman had disappeared. Now he is international search. Also, there was an explosion under Rivne Public Prosecutor's Office. The windows are broken at 2 first floors. At the entrance pavement, there is a 9 centimeters crater. The remainings of the explosive device have been taken for the expertise. The investigators assume it was a grenade. The press center of regional police said the burst took place at night. No one was injured. The case is investigated as a terrorist attack. It is unknown when it will become clearly in Khmelnytsky. Since morning, the residents have complained about the poisonous smoke which covered the city. People tell there is nothing to bring with it some of them smaller areas. Spokesman of the Regional Emergency Service, Andriy Kozak, explains the smoke is because of turf fires. The turf is burning in Khmelnytsky, Islamovsky, Derzhamsky districts. The rescuers are dealing with it. The city of Rivne is in smoke as well. Only yesterday, the smoke was thought to be near cleaning buildings of water supply service. By yesterday's event, the silt fields have been filled with water for not to smolder and not to evoke fire again. The local officials suppose it was an arson. And today, the utility service workers assured the smoke, which is now even more thick and poisonous, come not from the cleaning buildings, but from the peat box. People in social networks say it is difficult to breathe. And now some actualities from the Verkhovna Rada. Newly formed United Communities will have the chance to elect their local deputies on the 25th of October. The parliament has adopted the law regarding the election procedure of their new government. In particular, it will be concerned the part of Zakarpattia and Ternopil regions. There are approximately 500 villages and towns which have decided to unite. Therefore, 104 new territorial communities will be established. Their representatives were at the parliamentary hospitality box, and they asked to make amendments to the legislation without which it would be impossible to choose local councils of the United Territories.
8 village councils are to join our village. Today, Central Election Commission is entitled to announce elections in these communities. They will live differently. In 2016, we'll have new budgets and new governance of the deputy composition, etc.
Plastic ID cards instead of usual paper passports will be issued for Ukrainians from the beginning of 2016. These government plans were announced by the Prime Minister of Ukraine, Arseniy Yatsenyuk. He emphasized that it is the first requirement of the EU in order to implement the visa-free regime with Ukraine. Money for the new documents will be in 2016 budget. Until that time, the Prime Minister stressed the issue of security of borders and selection of prosecutors that will be responsible for anti-corruption proceedings should be solved. These tasks have been given to Ukraine again by the members of the EU mission.
The major issue is the appointment of anti-corruption prosecutors and full transparency in appointment of Commission members that will select anti-corruption prosecutors. That's why I appeal to members of the Parliament to make proposals about the appointment of Commission members under the Verkhovna Rada quota as soon as possible. The key criterion is impartiality, absence of political constituent and professionalism. The former judges and scientists may be appointed.
From now on, the media ownership in Ukraine should be transparent. Yesterday, the parliament have voted for the applicable law. It reveals the names of all media owners for citizens and prohibits to finance the domestic media through the offshore zones, and it forbids the residents of the aggressor country to own media. During the half of a year, all mass media are obligated to reveal the names of their owners and sponsors. All TV and radio broadcasters must submit the list of those who finance them to the national board and must publish them on their websites. Those who will not do that must be fined. This law is not just one more step to the transparency of media ownership, but also it is one of the paragraphs of agreements about the EU association.
The state is in honor of the frequency resource, and it actually had the right to demand information about people whom it gives this resource in the form of license. Notable social polls show that the 80% of Ukrainians would like to know who is the owners of different media. Mostly, it will improve the understanding of the editor policy of different TV channels.
The story of Ukrainian defenders of Donetsk airport has become a book. Journalist of Los Angeles Times Sergei Loiko, who spent 2 weeks with the cyborgs, wrote a documentary book, Airport. The book was out in Ukrainian and Russian. Yesterday in Kyiv, in the Ukrainian House, author presented his work. About that is our following story.
Sergei Loiko, among his friends, signs the airport. He says that recollections after the bygone did not leave him. He literally talked about them with himself, and in 1.5 years he has written a book. Today the presentation guests snatched up the book. I at once realized that I can't write any chronicles, because I wasn't with them till the end, and I don't want to offend anyone. That's why all the characters are fictional, but 90% of the text is based upon real facts. Cyborgs say that when Sergei Loiko started to put photos and materials from the Donetsk airport, they were afraid that they would look like fictional, not real characters. I told him privately, Mr. Sergei, you draw us as slightly fictional characters, because there were lots of bad and complicated things in the airport. We saw it from our soldiers' perspective. And Mr. Loiko responds, you did not see you from the side. I wrote everything honestly. Not every airport defender has already read this novel, but some were the military consultants to Sergei Loiko. They say that the journalist managed to do the main thing. The most important thing is that this novel draws a picture of real Ukrainian soldier, real defender of their motherland. The last time such a fully thrown hole at the Ukrainian House was seen some years ago, when Lina Kostenko had a meeting with readers after her perennial solitude. Sergei Loiko read extracts from the novel and shared recollections. As a journalist, he was at Donbass on both sides of the demarcation line, and when he told the Russians about what he had seen, but they fully believe their TV. The Ukrainian society wants to know the truth. If you struggle for something, you'll get it. But the Russian society doesn't want to know the truth. Buyers of the book also gave money on the copies that will be taken on the front line to soldiers. Olga Skotnikova, Evgeny Chizhik, Alexander Volik, First Ukraine.
In Ivano-Frankivsk started the admission to patrol police. Already in the morning near the drama theater building, where the point of document reception was deployed, there is a rush. The city needs 200 of patrol policemen, but only during the first hour were brought 150 applications. Why there are so many willing to join new police, our colleagues from Frankivsk will tell next.
Lubomir is 22 years old. He has just entered the institute. He has studied on the faculty of engineering, but now he would like to serve in the police patrol. I saw how the selection process was held in Kyiv, Odessa and Lviv, how something has changed there. I would like to see changes in Ivano-Frankivsk. That's why I've come here. Oksana is a businesswoman with a 5-year experience in this field. She also really wants to see changes. Because of my specialization, I could see all adversities and all disorders. And for a long time, I have had a strong desire to change something, and luckily, I have such an opportunity now. I'll try to do something, and maybe I'll succeed in it. One of the staff inspectors of the Ivano-Frankivsk police says that the huge motivation and the desire for changes are the main criteria for those who want to be a policeman. They should be focused on the service in the organs of internal affairs and should aim to completely new changes. They should be in a good physical shape in order to be able to arrest criminals and to serve at any weather conditions and in any place if it is required by the interest of the state. Kyiv policemen who came to Ivano-Frankivsk in order to present their job say that after 2 months they succeed in gaining people's trust. We have an immense motivation due to people who support us. This is why with their help we will succeed. They even sometimes help us with some issues. It means that we know for who we work, we have the motivation and the support of people. Arseny Avakov promised that changes in the structure of the Ministry of Internal Affairs would be felt till the end of the year. Till the end of the year, you will see not only the new patrol police, but also district policemen. There will be changes in all structures and means that we will offer the new structure of the police underline the principles of defense and service. It will include special weapons and tactics teams, new criminal department, new security police and new structure of police departments. The police selection process in Ivano-Frankivsk will last till the 18th of October. They start working after the 2 months training. Lyudmila Sivak, Ilarion Ivanenko, Serhiy Popovich, Anna Vaitanik, First Ukraine.
It was the United Country Newscast by First Ukraine. You can find more details at our website, firsta.com. Olga Tkachenko was working for you in the studio. We wish you only good news. Take care and goodbye.